we're going to go with Steve, pronouns he, him, calling in from Nuanced Eels, who is talking about alien signals from Proxima Centauri B. Steve, you are on the line with Eve and Forrest. How you doing?
Yeah. Hey, Forrest. Hi, Eve. Thanks for having me.
Hey,
And
Steve.
I was calling about a alien signal. It was first picked up by the Parkes telescope in 2019, and the signal was lasted about 5 hours, and it was in a very narrow band frequency of 982 megahertz. And then the breakthrough listening candidate one is the one that analyzed the signal and found that this signal was shifting away at the same speed as the Proxima B planet was orbiting. And so the speed of the signal was too slow to have been from an airspeed of an aircraft, but too quick to have been ground-based. So it had to have been coming from this planet.
Have we spoken before?
Oh, yeah, we have. This is a whole different subject, though. It's not about simulation.
You sound familiar. Yeah, simulations and space octopuses and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Right. No, this is totally different. subject.
So
right off the bat. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, please revisit every other time we've spoken. And I said, like, here's this thing that somebody said, and it may not be real. It may be real. Who knows? I just found an article from space.com that is titled "Mysterious Radio Signal from Proxima Centauri was definitely not aliens. The signal appears to have earthly origin." And it goes into detail about that.
It was terrestrial interference.
If this was real and if this was aliens, NASA would be all over it. I have plenty of astrophysicist friends and astrobiologist friends. They would be all over it. Professional and amateur science alike would be all over it. The fact that you're not hearing everybody confirming this is definitely aliens is because it seems to me, just from a tertiary reading of the literature, not even literature, just like what's coming up on a easy Google search. Here's from the SETI Institute, the thing about searching for extraterrestrial life, and it ain't aliens. If this was a real thing, I guarantee we'd know. But remember a little while ago when we found phosphine on Venus and we were like, hey, this could potentially be life. And all the scientists were like, it could, but don't think that it is until we have any kind of proof. This is even less serious than that. It's not even a serious biomolecule. It's just a signal. And everybody here that is way smarter than me is saying that it definitely isn't aliens.
Professor Simon Holland on his YouTube channel has audio. I can play it on my phone. I can give you. You can listen to the audio clip. It's audio.
We don't care how it sounds, Steve.
I super don't care.
It's the beginning of the signal. Yeah, are you there?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Eve. You go ahead.
Because even if it sounded like something interesting, which I don't know what we would qualify that as, like, I have no idea. It could sound like anything, and that has no, it has nothing to do with what scientists have actually discovered about the sound. And what I was able to look it up very quickly, very easily, and they're saying that it's just terrestrial interference, that it's
That's what they initially dismissed it as. But the signal, the Doppler shift speed of the signal is the same as the rotational speed of Proxima Centauri B. So that tells me right there the signal's coming from the planet.
Sophia Sheik, a postdoctoral researcher who was the lead author on the technosignature verification framework article that you're talking about, she found 60 signals that share many characteristics of this candidate that you're talking about. And she says we can confidently say that these signals are local to the telescope and are human generated. The signals are spaced at regular frequency intervals in the data. These intervals appear to correspond to multiples of frequencies with oscillators that are commonly used in various electronic devices. The evidence suggests the signal interference from human technology, although we are unable to identify a specific source. So the person who published the thing that you are referencing says it ain't aliens. Do you have any training or any expertise or any reason for me to take you more seriously than the postdoctoral researcher who published the thing.
Well, I think you should take Professor Simon Holland seriously.
What
Why
does
should we
this
take
person know more than the person who did the research initially?
Because he has insider information from SETI, and they're in a race with the Chinese organization setting the signal fast.
What I just
and
read
they're
to
out-
you
they're-
was
they're
from
racing
the
to,
SETI website.
confirm the signal.
What I just read to you was
racing to
from the
confirm
SETI
the signal.
website. And here's the thing. What I just read to you is from the SETI website. And if you're seriously going to sit here and say that there's some deep conspiracy because some guy in a YouTube video said there is, I'm not going to take you any more seriously than I already do, which isn't a lot.
Well, you can dismiss this, but they're going to, just give it time. They'll confirm the signals. They'll do more research in it, but I'm pretty
That's what they would have to do.
Show.
They would have to do
Yes.
that in order for you to convince us that this is anything at all.
That's the thing, Steve. If they did more research and came back with a different answer, and people with better expertise in this area than either you or I have were to come back and say, actually, for real, guys, I'm 99% sure this is aliens, then I would take it seriously. But some guy with a YouTube channel said that he has insider secret conspiracy information that the government doesn't want you to know. I don't believe you. And I don't know why you believe that either. It's a deeply unskeptical thing to do. And saying, well, eventually they're going to find out that I'm right is a bad argument for the exact same reason that it's a bad argument every time a theist calls in and says, eventually the rapture is going to happen and then you'll know. Then you'll know that Jesus and all this stuff. Or eventually they're going to release the secret tapes that talk about how JFK was actually assassinated by squirrels because squirrels run the government. And you also, that's why you have to say squirrels really weird. You can't say squirrels, it's squirrels. It's just silly, dude. I don't know why you continue to call in and say, I read some obscure ass article or saw some weird faceless, nameless YouTube video where some guy said some unprovable thing. So aliens. I don't know why you continue to do this.
Okay, well, we'll see. Let's give it time. Maybe I call a little too premature on this. And then that rapture subject's a whole different topic for a whole different day, but we should have non-Christian co-pilots in planes, just in the off chance that's true, so planes won't be falling out of the sky when the rapture happens.
Are you serious?
So wait,
like, honestly?
you think that your God designed a universe in which we need to make sure that some people are not Christians, even though the Bible says that you're supposed to make sure everybody's a Christian, so that planes don't fall out of the sky? How did he mess that up so hard in his plan?
Well, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying in the off chance it is. We should have Christian co-pilots to take over the plane, so we don't have planes.
What
falling
about
out
the
of the sky.
off chance that there? What about this rumor that all airplanes are going to turn into snakes? They're just going to all of a sudden turn into a snake.
I've heard
Should
that.
we
I saw a YouTube
ground
video
all
about that.
Yes.
Movie. Yeah, I watched
Yeah,
that.
so
I
should
had
we-
what was that guy's name?
No,
This is different.
there's not gonna be
Planes
snakes
are going
on the
to
plane.
actually turn the metal.
Uh-huh.
The plane is going to turn into
Is it-
snakes. So
Snake
why are
plane.
we not doing something about that? Just on the off chance that it happens.
That's just a metaphor.
I saw a guy-
I have some other. That's
guy-
just a metaphor.
No,
That's
I
not
saw a
literal.
guy with a PhD said it was going to happen on a YouTube video. And they're secret.
why
It's
are-
secret. They're
Where?
hiding
Why
it.
are we
Well,
not
I'll
doing
watch it.
something?
I'll have to research that. I'll watch it. What was the
I
guy's
don't
name?
want you to watch it because you'd fucking believe it, Steve. That's the problem, is that if that video actually existed, you'd fucking believe it. When is the right time to believe a thing, Steve? Is it because somebody said it? Or because maybe it's true and we'll see? Or is it when you actually have evidence for the thing?
Okay, we'll research it more. We'll have to research.
No,
it has to be confirmed
You're gonna
independently.
I would prefer you answer the question. When is the right time to believe a thing? Is it when you have evidence for it, or when you saw a YouTube video about it?
When there's independent evidence for it, when it can be confirmed and
Yeah.
verified independently.
Yeah, it's that. And every single time you call in, that's the conclusion that we have to reach over and over and over and over. I don't know why you keep doing this, Steve. Seriously, I'm asking you genuinely. Why is it that you keep calling to say, I saw this crazy shit on the internet and I think it's true? And we have to explain to you Just because you saw some crazy shit on the internet isn't a reason to believe it. And then you say, well, yeah, I guess I should wait. There's more evidence. I guess I have confirmation bias. I guess I'm just believing this because I want to. I remember you saying this shit. You say, well, I guess I just kind of want to believe this. I guess I'm jumping the gun on this. I guess. Why don't you stop yourself and say, hey, hold on a second. I shouldn't believe this because I know I'm bullshitting myself right now. Why do you make it our problem to do it for you?
Okay.
Steve, my question, do you worry that you're going to find yourself believing something that ends up becoming harmful to you because you're not, making sure that you have a good reason to believe something? Because that's what I worry about. It's kind of harmless. It sounds like the things that you're believing right now. But if you're going to maybe decide, oh, I'm not going to get on a plane and go to this important event that I would otherwise really look forward to because I'm afraid somebody might, be raptured and not be able to fly the plane. Like, if you're going to live your life based off of these things that you don't have good reason to believe, it makes me sad for you because what are you going to miss out on in life? Some of the parts that
And
are
what are you
actually
going to
real.
be? And what kind of bullshit is somebody going to, trick you into believing? What kind of atrocities are you going to commit to yourself and to others because somebody convinced you need to do it because they saw somebody smart say it once? Like, you're opening yourself up to a lot of harm.
Okay, I'm not going to be clickbait anymore.
I appreciate that, Steve. I'll believe it when I don't hear from you for a while. Because, honestly,
after the
dude,
election,
this is a
I'm not going to call back till after the election or till I get confirmation of the test to run for the simulation, the mass information.
If you get good reason for something, we want to hear it. If you find good reason to believe these things, we deeply want to hear it. Thanks, Steve.
I'm jumping the gun too early. I just think they're going to prove this later down the road, but I got to wait. I just can't be so anxious.
You got to wait and don't believe it until you have that proof. Is the key.
You're smart. You're a smart guy. Thanks. You are.
No, I'm not. But thank you, Steve. Take care.
Bye, Steve.
I'm sorry to be.
I'm guessing you have some history there.
Yeah, no, and that's I'm sorry to be if I came across as abrasive in that. It's just like I really have. I've talked to Steve like probably 4 or 5 times now, and every single time it's the same thing. I saw this article where like 3 people with PhDs said that octopuses are actually aliens, and it's like, okay, I can find you a PhD that's a creationist. I can find you a PhD that's a flat earther. I can find you a PhD that did anything. A PhD, it just means you did enough research to prove a thing to a board that believed you. And like that, and even that, you don't even have to believe it. It's just showing that you know how to do research really good. That's what it is. You got a bunch of information about one very specific thing. There are some batshit crazy people out there with PhDs. And we've had to go about simulations. We've had to go on about aliens. We've had to go on about cephalopods. We've had to go about panspermia. We've had to go on about all these things. And it's always the same script. It is, I saw a video about it. I saw an article about it. I saw a newspaper clipping about it. I saw somebody said it. There's this paper that I didn't read said something about it. You know what I mean? And it just, man, it makes me sad because I know Steve isn't in any way unique. I can't hear you, Eve. I don't know if your mic's on.
Sorry. I was going to say, it's one thing if you fall for these things, but when you show that you actively are just wanting to believe they're true, when he goes on to say, well, I think we're going to see that I'm right, it's going to come out, then you're announcing your confirmation bias right there. You're just saying like, well, I want this to be true. I'm hoping. Yeah. And so therefore I think I'm going to end up being right. And so I'm going to go ahead and already start believing it just because I want to. And that's a really, really, really bad reason to believe things. I mean, it can be harmless up until it's not. But you've already lowered your standard for what you're going to believe. And that sets you up for failure in the long term. So,
hey, if you liked this video, why don't you click that like button?
And if you didn't
That's
like
what
it,
you would say.
subscribe.
Okay.
You didn't even give me a chance.
There was such a long pause.
What are you on speed or something? I barely had a chance.
Let's try again. Hey, I hope you liked. Hey, I hope you. Fuck. Hey there. I hope you liked that clip. Hey, I hope you liked that clipper just now. The one that you just watched with your eyes. If you did like it, why don't you click that like button?
And if you didn't like it, tell Jimmy to go fuck himself.
Hey, I hope you liked that clip right now. If you did like it, why don't you hit that like button?
And if you didn't like it, go ahead and subscribe anyway.